All right, I want to go over how you find the dimensions of a truncated cone or pyramid. And this works for any pyramid. It doesn't have to be a square bottom. So basically, the first thing is you know the volume that you want for your truncated pyramid, all right? And that volume is going to come from the original pyramid that you had with this equation minus the piece that you take off, okay? So to do this, there's some equations that we need to have. We need to know how to find the volume of a pyramid or cone. It's the same equation for both. You need to remember these things about scale factor. So these are going to all help us to do this, this problem. So what I'm going to do is take what I know about volume and scale factor as well as algebra. I'm going to set up an equation to try to find the dimensions. So again, right here, you can even see from this drawing, I almost have an equation. Truncated cone equals the original pyramid minus this little new guy that I cut off, okay? So if I could just find equations for them, I could set it all up. So first thing, I'm going to decide K, which is what portion am I taking off. I have decided to take half off. You can choose a third, a fourth. I'm going to take half, so that's going to be my scale factor. Second thing, I'm going to come up with my base dimensions. So I've decided to do it by 3 by 3. All right, so now I have 3 by 3. I know my K. The only thing I do not know is the height, and that's what I'm actually attempting to find because those are the only things I actually need to do all the work. So step 3 is set up an equation to solve for height. So to do that, I go back to this basic equation of the volume I want equals the old guy times the little guy I'm taking off. And for my old guy, I know the equation is 1/3 base times height. So I just plug into that. My base right here is 9. I don't know my height. That's going to be 9h. And then for my new volume, I remember over here, right? New volume equals the old times k cubed. So I do exactly that. This old volume times my k cubed. I'm going to do the math here. I can combine all my numbers together. Of course, I have to keep my variable out. I end up with these two. So now I'm just going to kind of set it up over here again. Oopsies. So you can see you've got this equation. I put in my numbers, and now I'm just going to use algebra to solve for h. And I now have my height of 1.27. Okay? So this is awesome. I now know everything about my original, and won't take me long to figure out what's happening to my truncated cone. All right? So I already know my truncated cone is 3 by 3, and I just need to figure out this height. So to do that, I'm going to figure out the height of my little guy, which I do by basically, to figure out this height, I times him by k. I knew the height was 1.27. I multiply that by k of 1/2. When I do that, I get 0.63. And if I just subtract 0.63 from the full height, which is 1.27, I will get the height of this, which is also actually ends up being 0.63. So now I have two key dimensions. The third dimension that you will need, if you can see this drawing eventually, is your slant height. Again, I'm going to have to go to my original cone to find my slant height, but once I find it, I can use K to figure out the remaining slant height on my truncated cone. I hope this helps.